happening? We're back with meditation versus medication. This talk series is about how meditation and medication, the choice of these two things, and in my experience, I chose meditation and how it changed my life, and I'm talking about the science behind meditation. So I'm gonna give people a few seconds to tune in, say hello, give me a high five. Where are you tuning in from? Hi. Is it Trues? How do I say your name? Inner Peace, welcome, welcome. Wigger, welcome, welcome. So we're on live, Facebook and Instagram, so I'll do my best to navigate through questions. So if you see me kind of looking back and forth, hopefully we can all connect. Yay! All right, so to get started, let's take a deep breath in. Deep breath out. Just bringing the hands together in a place of grace, masculine and feminine, sun and moon, left brain and right brain, and harmony, just a place of peace, knowing that we have this center, this ground for our 2 feet to stand on, which is the truth of who we are. Always come back to truth no matter what. That's where we want to live from. We want to live from our highest vibration, which is the truth of how we feel, what we want in our lives, and where we're headed, and how we're taking action into getting that and bringing that into reality. Hi Ashwin, hi everyone, thanks for joining. So today, welcome back to Meditation versus Medication. If you're new to my page, my name is Amy Barsky, and I am a self-love and empowerment coach. And I basically take my clients and allow them, give them permission to unveil their trauma through subconscious reprogramming. And with that, it gives them the freedom to then ease all of that pain and drama that they've had in their life, so it no longer lives inside. It comes to a place of neutrality, and when that happens, they get to really live in that place of the truth of who they are, the light of who they are, and they find confidence, self-worth, and self-value, and know, like confirmation, 1000% commitment to knowing who they are in this world. And it's incredible. So that's what I do. If you're new to my page, welcome, welcome, say hello. Hi, Ricardo. Oh my gosh, you guys, yay, this is so great. So today we're sharing the happy hippocampus. The hippocampus is the section in our brain. Remember, we're talking about the 9 regions of our brain in this conversation. So that's what we're talking about today. Oh, thank you, True. I love your energy, you too. I thank you so much for joining and listening. And so we're talking about the hippocampus and how meditation ends depression. And why am I so energetic about this? Why am I so passionate about this? Is because meditation saved my ass. Like literally, I had always suffered from anxiety and depression, and it was just in and out of my life constantly. I didn't know how to get a handle on it until I found meditation. And in one of my deepest, darkest days, I was just like, I just want to quit. I can't stand this. I want to stop the pain. And that's where, when people have anxiety and depression, especially when they're in that deep, dark place, we only want to stop the pain. That's all we want. We want to stop the pain. And in our mindset, often we feel that suicide or death would be the answer. And the reality is, it is not the answer. Yes, we're talking about meditation and the science behind that. Thank you, Ashwin. And we're talking about the how we can end depression through meditation, focusing on the hippocampus today, the part of our brain. And unfortunately, I lost a very good friend of mine back in 2004. She decided to take her life because she felt her pain was so intense that it wasn't worth it anymore. And that's when I started my spiritual practice. I started asking questions. I started just really diving into, why am I here? What is this? What is my life? What is my purpose? Like, what am I doing? And going through my own transition, as some of you might know my story, just really finding my own way through a really unhealthy relationship, just shitty job after shitty job, not understanding like my purpose in this world. And lo and behold, I was in a car accident, and that car accident, I had injured my shoulder and my hip, and I was no longer able to do the activities I was used to, which was yoga and hiking and biking and climbing and all kinds of fun stuff. And my girlfriend, so my depression just got worse basically, and my girlfriend said, why don't you try guided meditation? And I said, send me there, tell me where, because I was so desperate. And when we usually move from 2 places, desperation or inspiration, right? That's when we really make those quantum leaps, those shifts. And I was ready for something. I was like, please, anything at this point. And so I found Kundalini Yoga, And that's something for me that's been a game changer. That specific type of yoga is incredible. And I also recommend just stillness and sitting in a place of breath and awareness. And so yeah, we're gonna talk about those benefits today. Let's see. And Ashwin says, I am single and how do I make a girlfriend? We don't make a girlfriend. First off, you can't create a partnership unless your partnership with yourself is whole and complete. That's one of the best ways. And I think we're all learning that in some degree in the relationships in our lives, whether they are platonic or whether they are romantic. It's really about understanding ourselves. Know thyself. I think that was Rumi that said that. Know thyself. And when we know ourselves so clearly, so the truth of who we are, we can say, oh, there's a trigger, there's a command of mine, there's some old stuff coming up, and prevent ourselves from projecting it on our partners or our friendships or even, the closest people in our lives is where we kind of take out our crap. And we don't want to do that. So meditation is one of the ways you can discover to get to know yourself. So let's talk about some of the main ways that meditation can help with depression and memory. So today we're talking about the hippocampus. And so how do some of us really maintain our memory through old age? Because this is something, we just need to understand that there is a choice. And we've all forgotten that the keys on our guts, where we put our keys, we've all forgotten, a friend's birthday. We've all forgotten, an appointment that you had. We do. Like, we're human. We're not perfect, right? So, hi Kuma. I'm working with professional engineer. Far do the work pressure. So we're talking about stress in the workspace. Not sleeping very well. Meditation is a great thing for sleeping well, especially before you go to bed. Deep breathing. Hit me up on a private message so we can talk about that if you wish. I would love to go into deeper conversation about how meditation helps you with your sleep. It's actually one of the topics that we'll hit later in this series of chats. So talking about forgetting, right? We've forgotten our keys. We've forgotten, a meeting. We've forgotten birthday. Do you ever forget your friend's birthday and you just feel so bad? Hi, Mark. Have you ever just forgotten a friend's name? You just kind of like blank out. You're like, oh my gosh, I've been friends with you for 15 years and I'm just like, oh my God, what is your name right now? It happens, okay? But remember that memory loss is not inevitable as we get older, as we go through this aging process. And there are so many people in the world that are older that are just firing on all 4 cylinders. They're just sharp as razors and they're well past their 80s. So to know this already is a win, and then to know that we have the tools and the skill sets to learn, and now we just have to be willing to learn. So if you're willing to learn, keep listening. So I don't know, I wasn't the best student in school. I was never the smartest. I was never the most witty. I was never doing high grades, straight A's. It just wasn't who I was. And when I got into college, I recognized that I chose to go to college. I went to college later in my life, and I chose that this was important to me. And I felt like in grammar school it wasn't important. I was, again, a very anxious child. I was feeling like I never fit in, I didn't belong. So I had a lot of other things swirling in my mind, and which suffered. My grades ended up suffering because of that. And so some of us can memorize. We can memorize thousands and thousands of digits of pi. We can remember our coworkers' names like that, just meeting them immediately. And it's just all about the big, beautiful thing that's sitting on our shoulders right now. Your noggin is the key. It's about that, the ability to tap in. And if you're willing to tap in, anything's possible. So we're going to talk about some of the science today with some of the research that's been done. Dr. Larry Squire, a world-renowned psychiatrist, published a groundbreaking paper called Memory, Hippocampus, and Brain Systems. And this basically just went into the depth and detail of how critical the hippocampus is to learning, okay, and the memory of learning. So retaining something. Did you ever read a book and you read like 3 pages and you're like, I have no idea what the hell I just read? I hear ya, right? I hear ya. So sometimes I have to reread, and sometimes it's just about not being focused, not being present, right? You could be reading the words, but you're not actually absorbing it because your mind's going, what am I gonna make for dinner? Oh, I have a meeting at 7. Oh, I gotta pick the kids up at 5, right? So we're not really focused. So it's about really tuning in and staying focused. And that's what meditation does. It brings us into a place of focus and concentration. So for those who are looking to ace these never-ending exams in life, really, right? We're always going through some type of, I'll say the word test. And if you're looking to climb your career ladder, if you're looking to hit the jackpot on Jeopardy, that game show, like that guy, what was his name? The human facts guy, Ken Jennings. So pinpointing out the seahorse-shaped brain region. So your hippocampus is shaped like a seahorse-ish, and it really has significant involvement in memory. And the brain grows, and you can really tune into this, and you can really bulletproof your memory if you're willing to sit down and meditate. And that's what meditation can do for you. So having a great memory, learning is, we all have the ability to learn. We just have to we have to tap into the willingness to try. We all have the ability to learn. We have to tap into the willingness to actually try. And that's where you're gonna see the benefits. All you need, sometimes we're like, oh, I just need a time machine. I go back to before I was born and have smarter parents, and that's how I'm gonna get this, this awesome brain memory. That's not the truth anymore. We used to think that. We used to think that we were born with this. You were just born with the way you think, the knowledge and the retention of information. And the reality is it's not, right? We can train our brains, just like you trained your muscles, right? You do bicep curls at the gym and you get stronger arms, okay? If you do brain exercises, specifically today we're talking about meditation, you get a stronger brain, you get a stronger memory. So much like Ken Jennings, highly successful Jeopardy winner, we have the power to rebuild our cranium within that very powerful hippocampus, and that's where you want to tune in from. So that's the power of neuroplasticity. It really, remember in the beginning we were talking about neuroplasticity is where your brain it holds the information, okay, and we can strengthen that. So you can let go of how you used to do things and create new patterns and habits of how now you want to do things, like how you want to live your life now. So if you were always a negative Nelly, you can tune into, okay, I'm aware of that now, and this is something I want to change. So with that awareness, I start to mindfully move around in this world in a more positive space. One of the most prominent neuroscientists in the world from Harvard University, Dr. Sarah Laser, yay, go women, has, and her colleagues have studied the meditation of brains for decades. Like they've been studying this for decades. And along other tests that they've done in the brain discoveries, research shows that meditation dramatically increases the hippocampal, I think I said that right, cortical thickness of your brain, and that's how you increase your memory. So that section of your brain gets thickened during meditation. I know, so science here, I'm geeking out. In other words, okay, so let's put it in a little bit of a fun context. Remember the movie Ghost, where they were in the room and they were making the clay pottery. They were on the pottery wheel and they were pushing the wheel with their feet, and it was a very sexy scene, of course, and but very just beautiful, like the way that you could mold it. Remember, they were playing with their hands, and just the way it was molded in such a beautiful way. That's what we can do with our brains. We can mold our brains just like that. So using your imagination, maybe when you're in meditation, start to imagine that clay, that pottery moving in that circular shape, and you are molding and creating it to how you want to live your life, what kind of life you want to live, right? What your thoughts are focused on, what your words are focused on, what your actions are based from. Are they coming from your core values? Are they coming from the truth of you? So, all right, thanks, True. Good to see you. Thank you so much. So in other words, we can mold our brains in any which way we want. And this is once believed to not be true. And the reality is, it is not set. Your intelligence is no longer set in stone. You can grow and expand in your intellectual being, as an intellectual being, exponentially, right? It's to the moon and back, as what was that show? Not I Love Lucy, The Honeymooners, if anyone remembers that one. Definitely pointing out my age right now. All right, so my today's conversation is just about having a leaky proof of memory, okay, really just tuning into the strength of your memory and learning to super learn, I guess you will, if you want to say that, learning to super learn through meditation. And by doing that, discovering meditation, if you don't have a practice already, I encourage you to start. If you're like, I don't know where to start, I've always been curious, but I don't know how or what that looks like, or if I'm going to do it wrong, I encourage you to click in my bio if you're on Instagram. It's a shift your brain, okay, to shift your mind to meditation. And if you're in Facebook, it's right there. The link is in the description. This is going to be an opportunity for those who are really deepening their practices and those who are just starting their practice. It's a live course, so we'll get together on a Zoom connection conversation, and I'll talk you through all the incredible ways that meditation can benefit you. We'll specifically work with depression and anxiety. That is my specialty. And we'll also build into self-confidence and self-esteem. So if that's something you're interested in, go ahead and check it out in my bio link in Instagram and in the description in Facebook. We're gonna start this. It's gonna be a very small group of people, and it's going to be very personal. So I'm really excited because you'll get to ask questions. We'll be here chatting, and it'll be live, so we'll get to really tune into what you want in your life through meditation, what your goals are, and I'll coach you through it, and it's going to be super fun. So if that's something you're interested in, it's starting like ASAP, so get on and sign up right now. And that's my share for today, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. Let's see, we've got some questions. Please check your inbox. Oh, great. So we've got some questions going into the inbox. Yes, please feel free to DM me if you have personal questions about your meditation practice or how you want to increase your confidence and you want to decrease the stress and anxiety. Don't hesitate to reach out. That's why I'm here, guys. I'm here to serve. I'm here to give value, and I love it. I love it. I love it. So thank you so much, and I will see you next time. Big hugs. Have an incredible day. And thank you again for showing up. We'll see you soon.